What's up, everyone? We're gonna get on here and talk about something in a minute here, but in the meantime, taking our pal Whiskey for a walk around our favorite park here, and I just started to realize some stuff, and people just don't understand even the low levels of corruption that's going on around here. A little more serious than we want to give it credit for. But I'm gonna show you a few things, just to show you what our public officials, just how they really are, what kind of people they really are. I've told you about the park over here, and right now they're even, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, right now they're tearing up sidewalk that they just poured, because whatever happened, I don't know, but something with the cement or something, I'm sure. And all this stuff they're pouring in right before our annual floods, right? It's okay. Over there is the park. Actually, this is now part of the park right where we're at. We're on the sidewalk here, and right through here, all of this you see, used to be able not to see that park. You see the poles and the tree line over there. All of this was houses through here. And what the city did, as I explained in the other video, on the other side of the river, they built up the bank so no flooding would happen over there. Over here, they ignored it. And that's because they had big plans for all this area to buy up these houses and beautify their park for whatever reason. But they want to get rid of all these houses because, the not so rich people live over here, right? Lower income stuff. But right where all this right here you're seeing, you didn't used to be able to see the pool back there. Any of that you're seeing for the park, you didn't used to be able to see all that because this was all filled with houses, right? And because it floods real bad over here, so they kept letting it flood so that flood insurances would quit paying, because people kept having to make claims every single year. And instead of building up the bank to save these houses, they started offering everybody dirt cheap money to get them out of here. Of course, everyone knew that their insurances were going up, and therefore they couldn't no longer continue to afford it. So the houses, so they started going along with selling their houses, and that's what happened. The city, city got all that dirt cheap, bought everybody's houses out so they could have their vision of this park, the vision that I seen before these houses were even bought up. And I know that because the area we were just walking through, my dad died in one of those houses, right? They lived there. My parents lived in one of those houses, and my brother had one. I had one across the street. Of course, the ones across the street, they didn't offer to buy, but over here they did. The other angle from it, back there's a baseball diamond, all that. There's no need to tear all that down, even though that floods all the time. No need to tear all this up. It's because they wanted to buy all this up, all that right through there where you're seeing it's all bare, all grass now. It all used to be houses right through there. And with the one stipulation is over here, now there's where the original park was, and you can see construction going on over here. They're tearing up all the sidewalk they just poured, and except for this house over here on the corner. I know who they are, that one on the corner, so I'm not gonna, they're just a person, so I'm not gonna be highlighting their house here or whatever. But that lady refused to sell her house, stood her ground, refused. And there's a select few that's done that. There's only like 3 or 4 houses of all the ones they tried to buy that the people held their ground. And when my brother sold his, I tried to tell him not to, But anyways, we're gonna get over here to the edge here and to show you what we got going on. Wait, you don't got pee on everything. So Whiskey's guiding us over here. Right here, you see this bare land right there. Used to be a store, and a pizza place used to be there, and now that's all gone. All that got bought up through all this flooding. And what I want to show you is this right here. across the road here on the other side. You see back there, hold on a minute. Back in there, you see the sign behind where that vehicle's parked. That's now turned into a park, and that didn't used to be a park. That used to be houses too. All that stuff they allowed to keep flooding out so they could buy. But mysteriously, this building right here made the cut and didn't have to stop. Didn't have to sell, and because it's so convenient. That's Mercury Cleaners there, right? Right there. And they're right in the flood area, and they flood just as much as everybody else. Go this way. The convenient thing is this Mercury Cleaners here. I'll show you. Let me get across this road. Come on. Whiskey tries to get a little brave over here. So Mercury Cleaners there is, guess what? That's owned by the Defiance mayor, right? He owns Mercury Cleaners along with a couple other businesses or whatever. He's also in real estate, an investment group that buys out real estate. And I've talked about some of that before, just like the building that got put up outside the city limits on city taxpayer money. Mercury Cleaners there. That's, you know, all I'm saying is all this is flood area, and they tried so hard to get everybody to sell. But conveniently, the mayor's business stays open. Now, my point is, I'm gonna go ahead and bet, and we'll see how things turn out for Defiance. But I bet before too long they come over here and build up this bank, because there ain't no way they're gonna be dumping all this money into this new park and beautifying this area right where the mayor's business is, and you know, strong arming everyone else to sell their places and get out so they can have all this land and develop some great park the way they want it. And I'm not against making things look better or nothing like that. But you know, if we rewind a minute and go to the issue going on with not just my mother, but a lot of people in this area with the city water department. Okay, the truth is about that, where the water issue is with my mom's house is you take that whole neighborhood through there, it's all old main, and truthfully that all needs dug up and a brand new main needs put in. But they're not going to do that instead, because all the water valves on that main are all old, and when they try to mess with them they break, and they're not about to do that. Instead, they're going to, you know, with your tax money that is supposed to go to whatever benefits you. Now, I'm not trying to say we shouldn't have a nicer park and all this stuff, but what good is it? That's a waste of tax money when the rest of your stuff, now you take someone like my mother has to come up with $4,000 at least to get her water issue fixed. Otherwise, she's out of water, and the city who broke it are claiming no responsibility. That's what kind of corruption we got going on here. That's just one form of the corruption going on around here. You know, and you start speaking up about this stuff, and they're going to make your life hell. Look here, I'm an example, right? But okay, you see behind me now on the other side of the river, all that rock there where they built that bank up to keep all the flooding from happening over there where that area is important. You know, now over here, they left it alone. Now, I guarantee you they're not sinking all this money in and going to let this keep flooding every year, okay? It floods so bad that you can barely see the tops of these shelter buildings here. And you can drive by on the bridge there, and you can only barely see the roofs of them buildings. You know, that's just, I'm pointing that out, okay? But how much you want to bet before too long, within the next year or so, they're going to be over here building this bank up. Otherwise, you should be up in arms, because they're sinking all this money into this area that they know for a fact is going to flood. So anyway, you know, I'm not trying to, I don't want nobody to take me the wrong way. I'm not trying to bitch and complain about their, you know, redoing this park and making it nice. That's certainly nice. And then eventually they're going to put the walkway bridge from this park over to the end of the library, the Fort Defiance, and then from there over to Pontiac Park. You know, a walkway bridge across this river and then a walkway bridge across that river. And I mean, sure, that's nice. You know, anyone that ever walks these areas, I used to do it quite a bit when I used to live over here, and you got to go up and around, but still, it ain't that bad. But you got to go up around and into town to get around to there. Whatever it is, what it is. And my point ain't that I'm not trying to complain about all that. It's nice enough, and you know, it'll make it look nice. And I've seen the photos, the drawings or whatever, drafts of what they want. I've seen this all a long time ago before these plans were even official. And I actually had a copy of it, but you know, they got all my stuff, so you know, that might, who knows. Anyways, I would show it, I would put it up if I could find, if I had it. It was before any of this was ever even started on or made official. It was when it was just their plan. Now, but like I'm saying, I'm not, you know, it's making it look nice. That's all nice. My whole point is, what about, you know, that's wasted tax money when you got the people suffering in this county, and a lot of it's because of shit they did, they caused. You know, like the water department broke my mother's water line. Not, you know, there's several people that kind of stuff happens to. So I'm not trying to act like it's just my mom's case, but make no mistake that when they found out I was using the water there, that's when they decided to be totally uncooperative. And, you know, so I'm just talking about, we got a lot of other issues to worry about with this money, with this tax money, that where the tax money is supposed to go is more important than making this park look so great. I mean, it wasn't bad already. It was just, they want to update it and make it bigger or whatever. And that's, you know, this is where we usually set off the fireworks. You know, I'm not against any of that. I'm not trying to say that at all. It's just what's going on, you know, around here, and the waste of tax money. And you know, but, and then one other thing I want to say is, you know, you see this you see over here this see him using that backhoe or whatever it is back there. So my point is, if I would, let's say I just go grab that and run a couple blocks over to where my mom lives at and decide to tear up that ground and fix that water line myself. What do you say they're going to do about that? Do you think the sheriff's going to come to me then and say that that's stolen property? Yeah, I can say, oh, that's not stolen. Who'll be sitting in jail? Guarantee I will, right? You know, that's what I'm talking about. They stole my property and refuse to do anything about it, refuse to give it back. But, you know, if I do something like that, that's my point. Anyone, you know, what, it's just, let's do a thing. Let's get on here and raise, if we can raise, like, we'll have to raise a whole shitload amount of money, but if we raise that amount of, this X amount of money, I'll prove it to you. I'll come over here after they're all done, borrow their backhoe, run it over here, start digging up the ground, and then we'll see how that turns out. See what the sheriff has to say about it then. See how much authority all the rest of these people who I ran into with my complaints, how much authority you think they all have suddenly then. You know, that's just my whole point there. Anyways, I'll get this upload. This is just something short, me wanting to point out what they're doing, just to put things into perspective. As all, you know, like I say, let's beautify this area. That's fine. That, you know, nothing against that. But first and foremost, your tax dollars are supposed to be going to what's needed. And so if you got water mains through this town that are so old and they need replaced, shouldn't the tax money you've been paying go to replace that? Shouldn't the water bill money you've been paying go to replace that stuff long before they start doing all the rest of this stuff, which is just in vain? You know, it's vanity. It's not like it's important and need to have stuff, but your water is, you know, That's all I'm saying about that. Anyways, see ya. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.